Can negative entities attach themselves to you during your dreams? And can you use your dreams as a way to connect to the spirit world and to actually heal yourself? Let's talk about that in this video. Okay, so let's talk about what happens to us while we're dreaming. We don't know a lot from a scientific perspective, but from a spiritual perspective, we have a pretty good idea what's going on. Most certainly, the DMT production gland, the pineal, is absolutely creating or flushing the brain with DMT while we're sleeping. And what we know about DMT is that it's a very powerful connection to the spirit world. We are multidimensional beings, so we're constantly connected to the spirit world. But the difference is we are not aware of it. So there are certain situations where we can become aware of that spiritual connection. One of them is certainly through meditation. Another one is through dreaming. Another one is through taking DMT, usually in the form of ayahuasca, because it is one of the major ingredients in ayahuasca. So this is a very powerful situation that's happening every time we sleep. And what we know about ayahuasca is that if you don't have a great shaman, or if your vibrational frequency isn't extremely high, then there is most certainly the opportunity for a negative spirit attachment to come through during an ayahuasca ceremony. Along that same vein, it stands to reason that a negative entity could come through dreaming. However, I haven't seen it that often. Generally, where it comes from, though, doesn't really matter at all. We could spend a lot of our time trying to say, oh, this came through an ayahuasca experience, or it came through a Ouija board, or it came through another person. All of those things are possible, and I have videos about this, and I'll link one of those for you here. But what matters is you. It doesn't really matter what the thing is that's torturing you or making you miserable or how it got there. It could be a negative entity. It could be an alien implant. It could be a curse or some sort of mortal cord or any number of things. So let's not focus on those things, because those things are really truly a distraction. The reason they've attached themselves to you is because you have some things that need to be resolved. You have some childhood trauma or some sort of blockages, limiting beliefs, all kinds of different things that are preventing you from getting to the place that you really want to get to, which is this spiritual enlightened being, or to be able to help people in your life, or whatever your particular mission is here on this planet at this particular time. So negative entities tend to come through to give you that motivation, that extra kick in the butt to take care of them, because the process for taking care of them is raising your vibrational frequency, stepping into your power, and generally discovering what your spiritual gifts are in the whole 9 yards. That's essentially what I do, is I help people discover all of that stuff so that they can remove negative entities. Okay. The long answer to that question then is, yeah, it's possible for a negative entity to attach itself during a dream state. What about if you already have an attachment? Is the dream state going to make that worse? Most certainly not. However, the entity is more likely to communicate with you and try to create fear experiences and so forth through your dreams, so that you bring that back into your waking life. You keep your vibration nice and low where they can stay attached to you. So it's another method. It's a tool that a negative entity can use against you. No doubt about it. However, this sleeping, dreaming experience is actually a tool that you can use to help you against negative entities and to help you heal and connect to the spirit world in a very high vibrational way. And that's exciting, and I'm excited to be able to give that to you in a way. I've released a healing session on YouTube this week that I'm also going to link right here that you can check out. This healing session is going to help you with the dream state. It's going to protect you. It's going to raise your vibrational frequency, and you're going to be able to do things in that space that maybe you aren't able to otherwise. That includes passing tests. What's a dream test? A dream test is generally, it's going to be a fear-based scenario that you have to overcome, that you have to persevere through. This is generally very challenging because you are surrounded by the thoughts that this space, that this dream place is actually real. You do not generally have lucidity in these moments because if you do, you can bring a little bit of that logical side to you and say, wait a minute, this is a dream and I know that they can't really hurt me. I know that I am safe and that I'm just dreaming. That kind of realization will give you the edge on any kind of threat or any kind of negativity that might come your way that would create fear or shame or any of the lower vibrational emotions that are available to you and to the negative entity. The negative entity wants you, remember, to have those lower vibrational emotions. So that test is all about you saying, I am not going to succumb to that lower vibrational emotion. I am going to stand firm, I'm going to stand resolute, and I'm going to let this wash past me. Okay, well, how do we do this? Most certainly, first, you have to have that lucid moment. Now, do you have to realize that it's a dream? No, you don't. But you do have to realize that you're working in the spirit world. So even if you don't realize that it's a dream, you can say, wait a minute, this being that's threatening me or this situation that's threatening me, this is a spiritual thing that's going on. This is an apparition. This is some sort of shadow creature. This is not a human being that I'm interacting with and I'm having a normal 3D experience with. This is something beyond that. Whether you remember it's a dream or not, again, is not important. But once you realize that this is some sort of spiritual influence that's going on, and if you've been dealing with this for a while, you've probably started to notice this throughout. And when you have, you've probably said, oh my gosh, I need this to end. I'm running for my life. Gosh, why won't this end? Well, of course, that's music to your negative entity's ears. Instead, what you really want to do is stand tall and say, you know what? You actually can't hurt me. I know that I am way more powerful. I have domain over my energy field, and there's nothing that you can actually do to cause me any harm whatsoever. Once you have that realization, once you stand in that truth, then everything changes. The negative entity is thwarted, and it may never even be able to bother you in your dreams again. Well, the other beautiful thing about this is that every time you have that realization, every time you say to yourself, this is not going to be able to harm me, then you are raising your vibrational frequency even outside of the dream world, outside of the dream state. And that changes everything throughout the rest of your life. So I'm really excited for you to experience this. And again, watching that video is going to be a huge help in this process. If you don't get it the first time, if you don't get it the first 10 times, it doesn't matter, because all that happens if you fail the test is that you just stay in the same place. One day when you do pass the test, that's when you start to crawl out of the situation that you've been in for so long. A lot of times people report to me that they experience sleep paralysis. That's a major problem, absolutely, if, again, you bring the wrong state of mind to it. Well, what's really powerful about a sleep paralysis experience is that you are partially awake and you're staring around some portion of your space and you see some sort of dark energy or dark entity that's giving you all kinds of trouble. Well, that feels more real than anything. But here again, you can use the same technique and the same approach. You know that this thing cannot actually harm you. You know how powerful you truly are in comparison to it. And you can stand tall, well, lay down tall, and realize that, hey, I'm not going to give you a fear response to this. You're going to have to work really hard to give me that fear response. And most likely, you're not going to be able to, because I know the truth. I know that you are actually weak and you're doing everything you can to keep my vibration as low as possible. I'm not going to give in to that. You're not going to be able to convince me of that. So good luck to you. If you experience a very high vibrational healing session, in many cases that night or the next night, you can go into a dream state and have lucidity automatically as a result. So I'm very excited for you to watch that video that I've also released this week and see if that happens for you. If you've been experiencing something that's way worse than what I'm describing, you're thinking, oh my gosh, Xane, you don't have any idea that what I'm dealing with when I'm sleeping and how horrible it is. I would love for you to comment about that and give me some more information, and I'll be able to coach you a little bit more about what you're experiencing. I've dealt with all levels and all ranges of this, from the most horrible thing that you can possibly imagine to something very light. And the approaches are very similar, if not exactly the same, but still, there is a little bit more that can be done when it's extra horrible or extra painful. So definitely reach out to me and let me know what you're experiencing in that area. I really appreciate you watching this video, and there's something else I'd like to give you, and that is a free activation that helps you with nervousness. This helps you in your waking life. So if you're about to do something that makes you nervous, or you're worried about something coming up, then you can download this free activation and receive immediate relief from that fear-based experience. And I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Check out all the other videos. I've made so many now on so many different topics, the healing sessions, meditations, and quick activations that help with all kinds of different things when it comes to essentially building yourself up, raising your vibrational frequency, ascending and becoming the amazing being that you've come here to be, and overcoming negative entity attachments all along the way. Thank you so much for watching. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.